Moving on now to part of our show that really sets us apart from every other news show in the Northwest, how all of you at home are part of our story. Last night we told you about Oregon's Death with Dignity law. When certain conditions are met, people can get a lethal dose of prescription medication to end their life. And a new bill signed by Governor Kotek this month allows people from out of state to come to Oregon and get this end-of-life care. Now, previously, you had to be an Oregon resident to qualify, but that's not the case anymore. And as tough of an issue as this is to talk about, hear about, even read about, we think it is valuable to share some of your experiences as a way to kind of destigmatize death, which eventually, I guess, well, I know, is part of all of our stories. We asked for your thoughts about the law change and about death with dignity as a policy itself.
It is a very good tool. My mother-in-law went through it, and without that, she would have suffered by far further. I also had an uncle that didn't use that tool, and unfortunately, he committed suicide.
He says it's a good tool, and please don't take it away. Sharon wrote to us as well. My good friend recently passed in her home with Death with Dignity. She was upbeat, very happy with her decision. If possible, I will also make this decision for myself. We also heard from a viewer named Susan who talked about the humanity of the Death with Dignity law. Susan and her husband were RVing in Florida a year after moving away from Oregon, and her husband was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. She wrote us to say he could not eat or drink anything. His condition was terminal and very painful. He begged his doctor to OD him on morphine. 16 weeks after the diagnosis, he passed away, having been taken off IV nutrition 2 weeks earlier at his request. In short, he starved to death. Had he been living in Oregon, he would have exercised his right to die with dignity weeks before starving to death. And you told us there are still some issues with this Death with Dignity law that's not perfect. A viewer named Larry shared with us that his wife was diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer that spread to her liver and kidneys, and she decided against any cancer treatments. He wrote, "We looked into DWD, but the process to get approved was ridiculously complicated. Instead, she let nature take its course and passed away 3 weeks later. It would be better to have a fast-track review and approval process for patients like my wife who have very little time. Without it, I watched her slowly die for 2 days while on a morphine drip. She never got to choose how to go." One viewer named Rick told us he's not so sure about this new change of the law that allows patients from out of state to get the medication here and then take them home to die where they're more comfortable.
I believe the Death with Dignity law should be limited. When people come from out of state, they should not be able to take the medication back to their state because we don't know if they're actually going to take it or give it to someone else.
But on the flip side of that coin, a viewer named Joni chimed in with this.
I just feel like I don't understand where people make the decision for other people. I really feel that people should mind their own business. If it's not about them, they should mind their own business.
Thanks again to all of you who shared your very personal stories with us. If you have more thoughts on Oregon's Death with Dignity law, our inbox is always open. You can email us at thestory@kgw.com or call and leave a voicemail. The number is 503-226-5090.